There's a Cleveland in Canada too. But yeah, 'cause I always thought it was funny when the Pilgrims left the south coast. They left from Plymouth, yeah? And they sailed over in a boat to America. And when they landed at a place called Plymouth.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And also another thing
New York.
know.
New York.
Yeah, the Yorkshire people on the boat, yeah, founded another town on the sea coast. And they said, what should we call it? Let's call it New York. We've come from York, New York.
There's also a Manchester in America.
There's thousands of them.
I know.
And they're all named after places in the UK.
Is there a Boston? I think there's a Boston.
There's a Boston in Lincolnshire.
Lincolnshire, I thought so.
Boston, Lincolnshire.
Even Brighton in America,
New Brighton.
Same reason. Because if you imagine,
New Jersey's the same.
You imagine you've left the UK and you're going to this new continent. There's only Indians here, native Indians, and you're going to call things. Where you're going to call them where you come from.
Yeah.
It was York, New York. Okay.
Jersey as well. But Jersey in the UK.
And New Jersey.
Oh yeah, the island.
Yeah, you said.
Interesting.
All these things you see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Anything else on Stockton Darlington, or is that it?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Now we can move on to some news.
Right, so the other thing I asked Rita to do, tell me some stuff that's happened today around the world. Okay? Speak up.
Is it just supposed to learn certain things every day? I think certain things going on around the world we're doing wrong. So, first thing, there's a huge sandstorm that engulfed the entire city in China today.
Wow.
Yeah, well, like somewhere around today. Yeah.
But today, this happened today.
Yeah, I found out on the news today.
And as a part of that, we were talking then, I told him that last week there was a huge thunderstorm in China. Did you hear about it?
No. Another thunderstorm.
What happened, listen, this is just scare the pants off you. What happened, it was such a large dump of water, yeah? In one day they had a year's supply of water over this city in China. It drained down, they've just built a metro, you know what I'm going to tell you? It drained into the metro, trains are running in the metro, it filled up the cars, killed them. About 20 people died in a train, and it's videos. If you go online, this was last week, and that's in a metro. And they had to open the top, in a couple of cars, the carriages, they had to open the tops of the carriage between here and the roof with like a tin opener. And they just lifted the people out of the water. And that was last week. This is climate change.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
There was actually a thunderstorm yesterday in North Carolina, and then it sent and it actually caused a few power outages in like some neighborhoods.
In North Carolina?
Yeah, North Carolina.
Where's that?
America.
Whereabouts in America? Is that north or south?
No.
It's on the spot.
North Carolina is south, but it's north of south. They've got North Carolina and South
It
Carolina.
was like near.
Yeah.
It was like near up top with Canada.
I heard that as well, yeah. Okay. But this is today, you see.
Right.
Okay, next one. What else is going on around the world?
Yeah. A man who got found guilty for terrorism and got sentenced to life in prison.
Where?
I told you that. I said he's going to ask you. Because I said to him, yeah, where? Because it's probably thousands.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. America.
We didn't Google that one. I told you to ask, didn't I? Of course you. So somewhere around the world today, amen. Okay. Next one.
And then 22 Afghan commandos got killed by some Taliban fighters when the Afghans tried to surrender.
Yeah, I heard of it.
So that was today. So that led on, then we had a discussion then about geography, because I asked him where Afghanistan is. Okay.
And you know where it is, right?
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's above Pakistan.
It's right next to the place. It's on the border.
Yeah.
We border with Afghanistan and India. And China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What he doesn't know, stop before that one. Hang on. What he doesn't, tomorrow, one of tomorrow's tasks is going to be geography. Okay? How good are you on the capital cities of countries?
He's good.
Are you good?
He's good.
Okay, so you're going to devise a quiz for tomorrow, and online with us here, yeah? Because I think I'm quite good too.
We test race quite a lot.
Oh, brilliant.
But it's just a case of remembering.
Okay. All right. But so I love geography. Geography and history. Fabulous. Right. What's the next one you had there? 22 Afghan vows.
Yeah, so a Vatican cardinal is being held up in court for committing fraud up to $421 million.
Did you know that?
No.
This was a story developing from last week. And that led us to lots of questions because I asked him where the Vatican City was, do you know?
Yeah, it's a separate city and country apparently.
Within
Italy.
within Rome.
Yeah.
And we were saying, I then said it's the smallest recognised country in the world.
It is recognised.
Okay, but and in there, that then led us to talk about religion. So you've got this religious person, he's now stealing 421 million. Okay, there's another question, came out of this that I read the other day. The Vatican have just declared a shopping list of what they own around the world. They've got 1,000 properties in different countries around the world that they own. It didn't say how much they're worth, but the Catholic faith is worth so much money.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like the Templars when they raided, they probably.
They are the biggest landowners and they're the biggest billionaires in the Philippines. And I live there, so I know that. So that's naughty. So therefore we were talking again about Rome, Vatican City. Do you know the name of the chapel, the famous chapel in Rome? Painted by Michelangelo, laid on his back. Sistine Chapel in St Paul's Cathedral. Yeah. Why is it called St Paul's? Because he was the first priest of Rome that they turned into Rome, and he was one of the disciples of Jesus. It's for people that believe in that. Okay, he was a disciple.
Angels and demons wrote all of that.
Angels
and demons.
Angels and Demons, the book.
Yes.
Who wrote the book?
Dan Brown.
Dan Brown, you see? Okay,
I read the books. The
books
movies
are
are
brilliant.
different. Yeah, the books are brilliant.
read the books.
Yeah.
What's the first one called?
Da Vinci Code.
That is brilliant. If you're like a conspiracy, like I do, read the Da Vinci Code.
In the picture.
Wait, isn't that about World War II?
About
World War II?
No.
no,
Could be think,
no.
no, I'm
Da
thinking of the
Vinci.
Enigma.
Leonardo da Vinci.
I
Yeah.
was thinking of,
Famous painter.
I was thinking of the Enigma code.
The wonderful. You should read it.
No, it's
You'd be
brilliant.
fascinated.
It
The
is.
brilliant thing about those conspiracy books like Dan Brown's is he takes a grain of truth
It does.
and he stretches it
Yes.
and he ties it to a myth that you've heard about, and then he ties it, and then by the time you've read it, you go, well, yeah, that's true.
And there is an element of truth in some of the things that he mentions.
There is, yeah. Okay, what else is happening in the world?
So in Australia actually tried to make a COVID vaccine, but then they ended up like failing horribly.
I heard that last year. I think they started doing that.
I didn't read that today.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that today.
They've failed on a number of occasions because they've tried to not mix it, but looked at the other vaccines.
Yeah, the other
and
formula.
see if they can make it better, I suppose, because they know that they don't want to export it or import it. You know, they want to keep it so it's all in.
I didn't realise they'd failed. I would have thought that they would have been one of the countries that could have built their own.
No, they've tried it a couple of times before as well. Not colossal, but this one.
This one was like massive.
It's mass produced.
Yeah, they literally quoted like colossal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Next one.
Then the largest sapphire cluster has been got found in someone's backyard recently in Sri Lanka.
Wow, that was a multi-billionaire now.
So do you know what that is? I didn't.
No,
Actually, we had to Google it. I wasn't sure what starfire was.
I don't know about Starfire, but Starfire.
Starfire is a special.
It's just like a name. It's just like a name.
But they're using the name of sapphire because for the colour basically, which is like a blue colour. What did we Googled it? What did it say that the starfire was?
It was like a starfire is just like a name for it. It's
What is it? What landed it basically? What is it? When someone went out in their yard and went, what the fuck is that? So what was it?
It was like a space rock. It was like a space. It's like ore, but for like a space ore.
Right. It's a
But
meteorite.
I don't think it had any actual like.
It's a special meteorite that's travelled from wherever they come
Is it?
from,
It's
out
like
of space. And it just landed in someone's yard in Sri Lanka.
It's like a solidified star.
Then someone's taking him.
Yeah, probably.
So that was fascinating. That then led me to ask Teresa, I said, so where's Sri Lanka? And we found out it's where?
South
Where did I
Asia.
tell you it was?
South
It's an
Asia.
island, isn't it? Where do you remember? Southern tip of India. Okay. And what was it called when I was a schoolboy? Do you remember that? What was its former name before it was Sri Lanka?
I would say Lanka. Because that's because of what we know. Now in our
Sri Lanka is
Lanka.
Do you know what it was called before it was Sri Lanka? When
No.
I was a schoolboy, so 60 years ago when I was at school. No?
no.
It was called Ceylon.
Oh, Ceylon. Yes.
Ceylon.
Yes.
You've heard of Ceylon tea?
Yes.
Anyway, so where the Tamil Indians come from,
Yeah.
it's now called Sri Lanka. When I was at school, it was called Ceylon, and it was part of the British Empire.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ceylon.
South Asia.
It's on the south
South
tip of
South
India.
Asia.
Yeah.
It's Tamil. A lot of the Tamil people that
Tamil and
we call it Lanka.
And as
Yeah.
you're
Lanka
a
is there.
professional on capital cities,
Sanskrit. The
Sacred. Yeah, you got temples. You got Buddhist temples there. You got different.
we're now going to be told the capital city of Sri Lanka, which was formerly Ceylon, because you said you're good at it. And they play. Do you like cricket? There's an international cricket ground there.
yeah, Sri Lankan has a very good team.
See, he knows
Cricket.
it. What's it called? What's the capital of Ceylon or Sri Lanka?
The capital
He
of
was a famous American detective with a wonky eye. He had a wonky eye.
And they should know this because I keep telling them about to watch it all the time.
What?
Go on, tell us, Dad. It's called Colombo.
Oh.
Colombo. Yeah, Colombo.
I told you downstairs. You should have remembered.
Colombo.
I do this for the way. I just
Yeah, I know the detective.
Yeah.
And what's his proper name?
What you mean? His actor's name?
Actor's name.
His name is Peter Falk. And
Brilliant.
so where do we get all of this general information from? How does your dad know it? How do I know it? There's only one way. There's only one way you can get that information. How do you get it? What is that?
Age.
Age.
Experience.
Experience. Yeah. The only way you get it is reading books.
Yeah, reading
You've
books.
got to read age. I know a lot of things and I've read a lot because I'm bloody old. But seriously,
Yes.
seriously,
Yes. No,
yeah?
you've got to read. You have to.
You can only find these things out if you read them, and they're always in a book. I'll tell you a funny story. This is they call it apocryphal, which means it might be true, might not be true. Yeah, Einstein, Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
Reese, who's Albert Einstein? Tell me tomorrow. Who's Albert Einstein?
Yeah, it's the 19th century
Mathematician, scientist,
scientist.
okay, philosopher, brilliant. Okay, came from where? What country? Germany. Was he Jewish or not?
Jewish.
Yes, he was Jewish. He was Jewish. Yeah, he didn't declare that during the war. Anyway, so Albert Einstein, he went to America, became an American citizen after the war, and he's at a dinner party, and he's sitting around the table, famous celebrity, someone's talking to him, and someone said, Albert, give me your phone number, and I'll give you a call tomorrow. So Albert looked at him, and he got up, and he walked out, and all the guests were wondering, where's he going? He went to the library next door to where he was eating, and he looked up and down the shelf, and he took down a book. By this time, the people had followed him in. So he opened this book and he looked through. And he said, my telephone number is New York, 838478. And they said, Albert, don't you remember your own phone number? Famously, he said, why am I going to clutter my mind with information that I can find in a book? Okay? Now, you may not have said that, it's apocryphal, but a lot of people use that as an example, yeah, for reading and finding books. And we used to have books called encyclopedias, we don't have them anymore. We have this thing called
Yes, we are going away
Wikipedia.
from the books day by day.
Yeah. But when I was a youngster, we used to have the Britannia, Encyclopedia
Britannica.
Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica. That's what
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I can remember it was either Britannica or Britannia. One
Yeah.
of them.
Britannia.
Encyclopedia Britannica.
Britannia. Yes.
Britannia's light, so.
Yeah. Well, they used to deliver it. This used to come in my house when I was little, 8 years old.
Salesmen, when I was a boy, little boy, salesmen would knock on the door and try and sell it to your granny.
Yeah.
Okay, people did buy them. But you don't, everything's online now. But the point I'm making is, you only get information and remember stuff, general fact, from reading.
Yes.
And that's what I said to you, you must read a newspaper every day.
Must.
You must, and if you don't want to do that, then do what we just did this morning. Google the news.
Yes.
And you'll get to know what's going on, and then you'll be interested. And tomorrow you're going to say, well, I wonder what actually happened to that piece of metal that fell down Sri Lanka.
Exactly.
Yeah, do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just get in the habit. I mean, every time I sit and eat meal, as I will in a minute, I'm reading the online news or doing something.
And it does. It grows your own fascination into other aspects as well.
Yeah.
And then you tend to then be a bit more inquisitive about these kind of things. And not every paper, and that's the other thing as well, when you read an article in one newspaper, it may not be the same in another, a same article.
I advised your son what papers to read and what not to
Yes,
read.
yeah.
There's a something paper in the UK called The Sun, and there's one called The Mirror.
Yes.
No,
Stay clear.
they're what we call magazines.
Yes. They're just entertainment magazines.
You want the Times, Daily Mail,